Students, how are you? I hope you all are safe at your house. Welcome to the online classes. I am Priyanka Rangal, your science subject teacher. Today we'll take class 5, chapter number 1, Plants and Animals from semester first book. Student, as you all know, we live in this beautiful and a unique planet called Earth. As you have already studied in your previous classes, along with us, there are thousands of species of plants and animals living with us. These plants and animals have certain common features and similarities between them. Also, they are having some differences in some or other ways. Today we will discuss about the similarities and differences between plants and animals. First of all, let's talk about the similarities between plants and animals. So, the similarities between plants and animals are they both can breathe, they need food, they both can grow, they move, they die, and they reproduce. These are the similarities, or you can say the common features of plants and animals. This is the topic number 1, that is common features of plants and animals. Now next we will talk about the differences of the plants and animals. For the differentiation, we have taken the 6 bases for differentiate between them. These are respiration, food, the movement, respond to the stimuli, reproduction, growth and death. These are the bases of differentiation which we will study in detail. First of all, we are taking respiration among plants and animals and will discuss in detail. So class, what is respiration? Respiration is the process by which the plants and animals they take in the oxygen from the air and gives out the carbon dioxide. Now first of all, we differentiate the plants and animals according to which they use what part of their body for the process of respirations. Different animals and plants use different body parts for the process of respiration and breathing. We will now discuss the types of animals and plants. Like the human beings, the terrestrial animals, that is the land animals, example the cow or dogs, they use lungs for the process of breathing. The reptiles and birds also use lungs for this process. The aquatic animals, that is the animals that live in water, they use the dissolved oxygen from the water through their gills. But some aquatic animals like the dolphins and whales, they use lungs for this process. Now there are the amphibians also that live both in land and water. Examples frog or crocodile. They breathe through their lungs when they are in land and they breathe through their skin when they are in water. This type of breathing that is from the skin is called the cutaneous breathing. Now the insects, they use the spiracles for the process of breathing. Spiracles are the tiny holes on the body of the insects they use for the process of breathing. Now plants breathe through the stomatas. What are the stomatas? Stomata are the tiny holes found in the underside of the leaves that are used by the plants for the process of breathing. This is the first base for the differentiation between plants and animals. Now we'll move to the next basis, that is food. You all know we need food for the growth and energy. Likewise, all the animals and plants also need food for the growth and energy and protect themselves from the enemies. We will talk now about how the plants and animals get their food. First of all, we'll take animals. From where the animals get the foods. According to this, animals are categorized into 3 categories. That is, herbivorous, carnivorous and omnivorous. First, what is herbivorous? Herbivorous is the plant-eating animals. Those who eat only the plants. Examples, the horse, rabbit, cow, etc. Carnivorous, these are the flesh-eating animals like lion and tiger. They depends upon the flesh of the other plant-eating animals. Third category is the omnivorous. Omnivorous are the animals which depend on both plants and the flesh-eating animals. Human beings also fall in these categories. Examples, crow and bear. So students, this is the source of food for the animals. Now we will talk about the plants. Students, green plants prepare their own food by the process called photosynthesis. Now we will discuss the process of photosynthesis. As you know, when we cook food in our kitchen, we need some ingredients like fire, water and vegetables. Similarly, plants also need these products to make their foods. So the byproducts for the photosynthesis are, first is water, second is sunlight, carbon dioxide and chlorophyll. The water plants get water from the roots of the plants. They get the light energy from the sun and the carbon dioxide through the stomata. Stomatas are the tiny pores on the underside of the leaves, which we have already discussed. Fourth is the chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is the green color pigment found on the leaves. Now, what happens? That the water and minerals are absorbed by the roots of the plants through the soil. They then transport through the stem of the plant to the leaves with the help of xylem. Xylem are the hollow tubes found in the stem for the transportation of water and minerals to the leaves. Here, leaves with the help of chlorophyll and plus carbon dioxide and sunlight make a food which is called sugar or starch and release oxygen in the air. This is the process of photosynthesis and this oxygen is useful for us also. So here leaves is called the kitchen of the plants because the process takes place in the leaves. So you have seen that photosynthesis is done by the plants. They prepare their own food. So they are called the producers of the plants. And the animals, they are called the consumers as they depend on other things for their food. So now moving to the next point of differentiation, we will talk about the movement in plants and animals. Animals move from one place to another in search of food and shelter. We see humans move from one place to another with their legs. So all the animals have limbs for different kind of movement. Like a bird have two legs, but also they have two wings to fly with. A fish has fins to swim with. A cheetah can run because of the limbs, but every animal doesn't have limbs. Some animals can also crawl like snakes. So when we talk about plants, they don't move from their place. They are fixed to their place. But some parts of the plants show the movement. Here we can see with the example that when the seed germinates, the roots move to the soil in search of the water and the shoot moves upwards in search of the sunlight and air. So you can say the plants can move and the difference between plants and animals on the basis of movement is clearly seen. Now moving to the next point, we will talk about how the plants and animals respond to the stimuli. What is stimuli? Stimuli is that which causes a reaction. Stimuli is something that causes a reaction. All the plants and animals will respond to the stimuli. Animals have sense organs to respond to the stimuli. For example, when animals see the flash of the light, they close their eyes. When you clap on the windows, the birds will fly. This shows their response to the stimuli. Likewise, plants don't have the sense organs, but they show their response by some movement. For example, you have seen a sunflower which opens up with the sunlight. This is their response to the stimuli. Similarly, a touch-me-not plants fold up when you touch them. This shows that plants also respond to the stimuli. Now we will move to the next point. We will take reproduction as the basis of difference between plants and animals. So students, reproduction is the process by which the living things produce young ones of their own kind. On the basis of reproduction, animals are divided into two categories, that is viviparous and oviparous. Viviparous are the animals, they give birth to the young ones. For example, mammals such as lion, tigers and human beings also. Similarly, oviparous are the animals which lay eggs. All the birds and reptiles and insects give birth to the eggs. So here we have talked about the reproduction in the animals. Now we'll talk about the reproduction in the plants. So reproduction in plants take place through various aspects. Reproduction can be done in plants through the seeds, through stem and roots. Here grafting is a term which can you say that grafting is done when stem of one plant is cut and attached to the stem of another plant. Then they are planted in the soil. Then a new plant will grow having the characteristics of both the plants. This is called the grafting process. That is a kind of reproduction in plants. So understand how the reproduction is done in the plants. So how animals and plants will grow. So students, animals will stop growing after a certain age, but plants they are keep on growing throughout their life. The depth of an animals have a lifespan of more than 100 years or a few days only. But plants they can be annual and they can be perennial. I hope you all have understood it clearly. So please go through this and keep on learning and practicing. We'll meet you soon. Thank you. Have a nice day. Stay home. Stay safe.